Live and football is coming home. Deck, what do you make of that? Brilliant semi-final. Brilliant game management from England to see it out. Fantastic result.
I think it's exactly how I predicted, to be honest. I predicted a 2-1. 2-1. I didn't tell Cam, but I did tell all my friends though. 2-1. For me, I thought we played pretty well. We struggled for about 30 minutes in the first half because they were overloading our midfield. We really only had Calvin Phillips and Rice there to try and hold anything down, and they were just getting so many chances through the midfield where they'd overflow it, then keep Delaney, for example, in centrally, let runners go off Delaney, he'd find someone, and then all of a sudden it's Joachim Mailer down the left hand side, or it's Seiger Larson down the right, and then they were just creating loads of chances, and we got lucky that we didn't concede more. But then at the same time, I think Denmark got a bit of luck because I think Pickford should be saving that. I do think he should be saving that free kick.
You reckon?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I'd be annoyed at him if I was a keeper. I'd be annoyed. I wouldn't. If I was his manager, I wouldn't be fuming with him. But I'd say to him, Jordan, you've got to be doing better there.
Yeah.
Because it was dipping, and he had a Denmark wall in front of him, but still. His positioning anyway was slightly off. He was too far over to the left, really.
Yeah.
Damsgaard was always going to go to that far right, for the far left corner, and I think his positioning let him down. And it didn't really matter what the Denmark wall done. If he was just an inch or two further right, he'd have been a lot closer to the ball. And I mean, he got fingertips on it anyway. As for our goals, I mean, we got a bit lucky, really.
Do you reckon?
I mean, well, the first goal was a nice passage of play, and probably should have scored before that was Sterling anyway. I mean, not should have done. I mean, like absolutely certainty. I tell you now, I would have scored that. I swear, like, I don't understand. Like, listen, I'm sitting here now, and I don't know how many people are watching. They probably won't believe me, but first time, I don't know why I put it straight down the middle. You just got to open your body and let it slide, and just got to pop it in the corner. It's what you do. If you want to actually go on,
I'm straight away on that. Marcus Rashford scores 100%. And then 90 seconds, I was literally typing a tweet. Sterling's supposed to be good at tap in, just the one thing he can do. Sort of, obviously a joke after the tournament he's had, but at the same time, Rashford would have scored. And then 30 seconds later, Sterling goes and, well, not him, but one ends up going in the net anyway, straight away.
And I thought after that it was kind of like watching. Well, not watching, but it's like what Gary Neville said when he was a Valencia coach against Atletico Madrid. He said he watched his team, although playing well, was slowly suffocated and killed throughout the game. And that's what you're seeing. We were fitter. We wanted it more. We were just better, really. Although we did get lucky, I think, with the penalty. I don't think it was a penalty on any planet in world football.
Yeah, I agree. When I saw the replay, not a pen. But to be fair, Kane should have had one before.
Do you think? I think that wasn't a penalty as well.
You reckon? I'm pretty sure it was. I think he cut across Kane in the box. You can't do that.
Obviously, I'm happy, but if it was up to me, if I was the referee, I wouldn't have given either of them.
I think the one on Kane had to be. He's wiped him out in the box. He's taken him out. Clean cut.
Did he? I don't think he touched him.
Nah, he definitely's touched him there. He's taken his leg and he's tripped him. I mean, the ball might be slightly running away from Kane, but he's got there first and been wiped out straight away. I think that's got to be a penalty. I don't understand how it's not.
I suppose it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we got through.
Exactly.
I think people thinking that we're winning this now are quite stupid in a way. We've got a massive task in beating Italy. The fact that they've got Spinazzola out makes it slightly easier. Yeah. I would have said before this, if with Spinazzola, I'm 80% confident Italy beat us. Without Spinazzola, I'm probably about 60%.
Honestly, Spinazzola's massive for them. People aren't realising fully how much of an impact he has on their team. His width is what let Insigne roam freely inside in the pockets, find space and create chances. Without his width, Emerson's nowhere near on that level. Unless they sort that out with Emerson, I think. Also, to be fair, even if they had Spinazzola, our stronger side defensively, and our side at least gets forward the least, is probably that right-hand side for us with Kyle Walker. So I suppose that does balance itself out nicely. But without Spinazzola, I think we'll be so much more comfortable because Insigne's got to play wider.
I think if you just look at the team. I think their defence, okay, although it's great, and it is great, it is slow. It is very slow.
Yeah.
And I think we definitely have the players that can cause a lot of trouble there. However, midfield-wise, I think we're going to get absolutely battered. If Locatelli and Jorginho and Verratti play, I don't think we've got a prayer. I don't.
So, we saw what Italy did to Spain. Early on, first 10 minutes, they tried to press them high. Spain struggled to play out. The pressing was working in the first 10 minutes. Early on, it was working well.
Yeah. But thing is with Spain, though, you're talking about Spain with players that are actually really good on the ball.
Exactly.
Bar
Harry Maguire and Stones.
You got Harry Maguire and Stones, maybe that could say that they're decent on the ball.
Yeah.
The rest of it, have we got a proper ball playing player in that team? Is Rice a ball player? No, certainly not for me. Is Calvin Phillips? Well, no, not on the level of a Busquets or even Pau Torres, who plays well out the back. I'm just not buying that we're going to be able to bypass their press by playing through it. We'll probably try. I mean, there's one player that can definitely bypass a press, and that's Luke Shaw. He's a fantastically progressive player, mainly with his carries. But I just think we're going to struggle. We are going to struggle. It also depends who plays on that right hand side. If Mancini plays Domenico Berardi or he plays Chiesa, I think if he plays Berardi, we've got a much better chance of winning. I just do. I just think defensively he doesn't do anything, and Luke Shaw is going to.
Well, the thing is, Berardi works really well with Spinazzola playing on the other side as well, because then Berardi and Spinazzola, Berardi's a more natural winger. He holds the width on the right. Spinazzola on the left holds the width, and that lets Insigne into the inside pockets on the left. And it means Barella can go into the inside pockets on the right, because Berardi's providing the width. When Chiesa plays, Barella's a little bit less effective because I feel Chiesa plays a little bit narrower. He likes to target inside a little bit more, whereas Berardi goes outside. And for me, I think it'll get less out of Barella because if he goes with Chiesa, but at the same time, Chiesa himself is more threatening. So it goes both ways.
Absolutely. I think I'm a massive fan of Barella. He's more of like, he's that Donny van de Beek, isn't he? That type of player, really. Yeah. I'm a massive fan of the entire Italy midfield, to be honest. I'd certainly have Verratti.
Verratti, Locatelli, both so welcome at United. Even Barella, to be honest, would be a decent player.
Jorginho.
Do you reckon Jorginho's improve United midfield?
25 times, but better than Fred and McTominay put together.
Defensively, not so sure, but on the ball, is brilliant. He's so good on the ball.
Absolutely. I mean, he's another penalty taker as well. I mean, if you look at that, I know we got beat by Villarreal, but we did. How many penalties did we score? 10 in a row.
Yeah,
we've got some penalty takers in our team.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? When a penalty shootout goes to the 11th penalty, when the keeper's taking them, both teams have got some really good penalty takers.
Yeah. I suppose that's really all I've got to say. I think Shaw will be huge against Italy.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think Sterling as well, because especially down that side with that is it Di Lorenzo?
Yeah, but the thing is, Di Lorenzo, as we were saying earlier, Di Lorenzo normally is more conservative. He sits back a lot more, so that could be a good chance for Shaw to get up that side.
I think that Di Lorenzo is a bit of a liability. I think he's booking, and I think if you get someone like Sterling or even Rashford or both, I think especially Grealish, if you brought Grealish on the left hand side, you're going to get fouls and fouls and fouls and fouls and fouls and fouls out of him, and then we're dangerous from set pieces. I think that's what you got to really be targeting. That's what I would target anyway. I'd be saying, I'd probably start Grealish because him and Shaw down that left hand side is like dream football, draw fouls, get fouls, Di Lorenzo fouls, That's what I'd be doing. I think it's going to be a close game. I can't see us beating Italy, to be honest. I just can't.
I think we are beating Italy, to be honest. I know what you're saying about the midfield. Their midfield is unreal on the ball, but at the same time, I just think athleticism-wise, if any team left in this tournament can press them when they need to, can sit off in a well-drilled shape when they need to, it is England. It is England at this point.
I think it depends for Italy on one person, like it's depended the entire tournament. I think that Chiesa's kind of shown up for them in the terms of they need a player. I'm really disappointed in Ciro Immobile, and he scored 2 goals, but he's not really shown up again. That's the thing about Immobile is that.
In all fairness, I'm not sure Immobile's had that much service. There's not been many times when they've whipped balls in the box and he's been on the end of it and missed it, like Morata's.
I would agree, and I don't think they create that many chances for their strikers. I've seen Berardi miss about 5 sitters. I've seen Insigne miss a few sitters. But in terms of Immobile, the chances he has had, I think he's been a bit there's a bit of Morata. I mean, don't get me wrong, Immobile is a different level striker to this guy, but there is a bit of a Morata about him in terms of missing chances. And if he sorts his head out and gets some goals, or starts playing well and starts linking the play and getting involved in the play like Harry Kane did tonight.
Harry Kane was brilliant tonight. Absolutely fantastic. Someone on TikTok here is saying Bukayo Saka was the worst player tonight. Not a chance.
Who was our worst player tonight? Probably Rice or Phillips again.
To be honest, both of them. I thought both Rice and Phillips were brilliant. Saka, no, I thought Saka was really dangerous.
Declan Rice is bad, man. He's horrendous.
You can't come out of tonight and say Declan Rice is bad.
No, but he just is. He's a centre back. Just be a centre back, please. Stop trying to be a midfielder, Declan Rice.
Oh, I thought Declan Rice was pretty good tonight. I think everyone was pretty good.
He just plays sideways. Is what he does.
The worst player tonight, I would say maybe Kyle Walker in with a shout, because I mean defensively he used his pace and strength to recover a few times, but didn't really offer much going forward. But to me, that's hard. I think everyone was pretty good. Actually, you know what? Maybe the worst player tonight, Jordan Pickford. Yeah. His kicking is terrible.
It is Pickford, which is strange because he's been one of our better players, but he was the worst tonight. He couldn't throw, he couldn't kick. The save, bit dodgy.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Denmark. I mean, to be fair, it could have been about 3 or 4-1 if Kasper Schmeichel wasn't in net for them. The Harry Maguire header.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sterling chance. So.
I mean, yeah, it could have been much worse. And to be honest, I do still think, even though they got unlucky with the penalty, Kane should have had one. People saying on TikTok, Maguire was good tonight. Rizwan saying, hi, how are you doing, mate? Copa America final, Argentina versus Brazil. Yeah, we'll do. That is on Saturday night, so we can do fancy another live viewing of that. See how that goes.
I'm up for Saturday. I'm free Saturday. Yeah.
Let's do it. When is Sancho going to be announced as a United player? Also, it's coming home. He'll have his medical after the Euros, and then hopefully it all goes through.
Well, seeing as I'm part of the Manchester United backroom staff now, I think I think Cam's right. It will be after the Euros. Yeah. Exactly.
It is coming home. Oh wait, sorry guys. I've just seen the comments on the Twitch chat. I've been on the wrong tab. Hi Ben, how are you? And hi Charlie, how are you? Charlie, if you like, I will send you. Charlie, if you've got Twitter, drop me Twitter in here, and I'll send you a link. Ben, you are on Twitch at this point. Fair enough. Apologies, I missed all those comments for a bit. So hopefully you guys are still here. Hey Rain, how are you doing? So we're obviously discussing all the football tonight. I think that we've broken down quite a lot of what's going on tonight. You mentioned one of the interesting points you mentioned at the start was what's happening in midfield, how we're getting outnumbered. Why do you think that is? Because for me, I think Calvin Phillips' athleticism is absolutely unreal. I think a lot of that credit's got to be down to Marcelo Bielsa and their murder ball that they play at Leeds. That ridiculous training game that they play in 20-minute spells. I'll dig out the rules for that in a second. It's ridiculous. Ben, we've been live for about 10 minutes now. But yeah, I'll dig out the rules for murder ball in a second. It's really interesting. But Phillips' athleticism tonight was unreal. But the downside of that is that he kept getting so far up the pitch that it was leaving us with a problem behind.
And then Rice sits too far back.
Yeah,
and you've got a problem now where all of a sudden Delaney's free in the middle, and like I say, they just overload, and you've got Mailer down one side, Striega Larsson down the other. They've got so many runners that are just running for the ball, running towards our box, and all of a sudden, the wing backs, like Gary Neville said, sometimes we're leaving Stones and Maguire, and it just left us so exposed down the flanks and in front of defence. We got away with it though, and I think this is one of the things that I like about Declan Rice is that he is immaculate defensively, and positionally he's very good.
Rice was class covering today.
He had to sit so deep because Phillips went so high, and I'm not slating Phillips. He's probably been told to do that to create overloads. but it was
one of them. If you to be fair, if you've got a pivot, it's something I would love to see more of at United. If you've got a pivot, take that risk. Send one of them up to press. So then you are going 5v5 on the opposition's sort of defence and midfield. Yeah. It gives you more chance of putting that ball up high up the pitch. If you do lose the ball, then you can be in trouble. But one thing I tweeted earlier on is I think it was about half time. Obviously, after Gary Neville had said, as you mentioned, that sometimes England's fullbacks were going really high on the Danish wing backs. You can do that if you go high on the ball side early. That's not a problem. Stay high. And then on the other side, the other one tucks in, comes really narrow, stays deep, and forms a back three. They weren't doing that at times. They were both going high at the same time. That leaves you with a back two. So Rice has to drop in there. And then the problem is you've got no cover in midfield. So you need cover in midfield and you need your centre-back, other fullback, tucking in. That was the basics, which weren't quite there first half. For me, I think that's why Gareth Southgate actually picked Bukayo Saka to start the game, because he tracks back defensively, but he didn't really in that first half, which didn't massively help us. Bruno Fernandes is the GOAT7 on TikTok is saying, time to face the spaghetti merchants on Sunday. Yeah, exactly. It is indeed. Ben is saying, it might be 6 blocks of 5 minutes, but playing at full throttle. Everyone is screaming and shouting. You can't stop. You have to press all the time. When the ball goes out of play, it's just straight back in. There's no rest whatsoever. And between hang on. Yes, this is murderable. It might be 6 blocks of 5 minutes, but full throttle. Everyone's screaming, shouting. You can't stop. You have to press all the time when the ball goes out of play. Yeah, those are literally the rules. It's short bursts, but lots of them. And you cannot stop. You have to be moving. You have to be pressing all the time. And there's multi-balls. It's a multi-ball system in operation. So every time a ball goes out, straight back on the pitch. That is why the Leeds team are so good fitness-wise. And that's why they're all such good athletes, as we've seen today from Callum Phillips. Red Hand, before your question, I've got one question about this. What's going on here? What is going on here? More clarification on that needed. One question and one question only. Why am I not drunk? To be perfectly honest, just a little bit ill at the moment. That's the only reason. I'm sure on Sunday I'll be not in a fit state to do a live stream, so don't you worry. Go on.
Sorry, the reason why I'm not drunk is because, wait, are you drinking? I thought you said you weren't drinking, Cam, because you were ill, and you've got your drink in there, aren't you?
Well, I am now. Yeah, I am, but I'm not going hard. Hold on, my sister's here for me.
Oh, his sister's here. Now, between you and me, Cam's sister, well, what I mean, I'm not saying too much, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know how old she is, and if she's like 12, I'm going to get in serious trouble.
Right. Apologies for that little problem. That's my sister came in and decided to be annoying. Right. Not quite.
How old is your sister, Cam?
Sorry.
How old is your sister?
18.
Oh, that's all right then.
Just about you might be all right there. You might be all right. Rad is saying, hope you're better for Sunday. Good luck on Sunday. Yes, cheers, Rad. I'm looking forward to it as well. Really looking forward to it. RIP, I should still be here. Hopefully you can all still hear me and stuff. Should be good. But how do you guys enjoy the game? What did you think of it? Because we're obviously Dak and I were discussing various things going on, and we'll move it shortly on to Italy and how we can beat Italy. But I've got to be honest, it is coming home. I think we are beating them. Tactically, I think we've got the measure of them. Dak's not sure because their midfield's unreal, but I don't think that's the problem. I think if any team can press them, it is us.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just think, that's all I can say, really.
Right. Ben is saying Fred Copa America watch along. That is Saturday night, right? And don't worry, we will be doing that. More Fred scouting. And Rains Bay saying decent match. Yep, it will be. Well, I hope anyway. And Red saying I'm still here, so that's good. Right, Dak, on to Italy. I know you think Italy are probably going to edge this, even without Spinazzola, but how can England win it?
How can England win it? Quite simple. You've got to start Jordan Henderson. That's how you start. That's how you win this game for me.
In addition to Rice and Phillips.
Yeah, I really would. I'd probably sit it Rice base of a diamond. Then I'd have Phillips in not a diamond, sorry, of a triangle, and play Phillips and Henderson. I'd have Phillips still going forward, and I'd have Henderson at the in between. So like I'd almost have like Rice come back to make a 5 when we're defending, really.
Do you think that's needed to block off all the spaces that Italy look to attack?
Yeah, it all depends how Italy play. Like you said, if Chiesa plays, if Berardi plays, Barella's going to have so much space and so many pockets to find. And I think I'd rather Rice do what he's good at, which is being a defensive minded player, and I think he can. I'd have him basically almost follow Barella as well, if possible. It looks like Cam's sister's back in again. I mean, why don't you get her on the stream, Cam? Because I'm sure she knows what Barella's doing. I'm sure she knows how Berardi's playing. And I'm sure she knows that Roberto Mancini's a good-looking man. I'm going for the bit of the old Mancini. What do you think, boys?
Don't worry, she's gone now, but it's all sorted. Yeah, so
give her my hat, Cam. Ask her. Tell her that my dad's got that coat.
Not a chance. Not having your pickup lines anywhere near it, to be honest. But yeah, so Red saying, does he cheer on our fellow UK team in England? So wait, Red, where else are you from? Scotland, Ireland, Wales, or do you cheer on Italy because they're your predicted winners? I feel like most people in Scotland and Ireland will be cheering on Italy, but Wales I'm less sure about. I don't know. I feel like I'd be more inclined to support Wales than any of the other home nations if it's not England. I'd never support Scotland and Ireland. Ireland could do one, but yeah, whereabouts are you from? But I would say support England. Back the boys. On what Deck's saying. Oh, from Northern Ireland. Fair enough.
It's a no. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? They're sorry. It's a parashar. It's a nice hoist. A hoist.
So Rain's from Wales and you're for England. Good on you. Love that. So, right, back on what you're saying then. You want Declan Rice to do what he's good at, which is what? In your
just be a defensive menace, someone that can just like do this across the back four. Back and forward, back
just
and forward.
Fill in every single gap along that back four.
Yeah, he's the plug, isn't he? He's the plug, and then I would stick, obviously Shaw and Walker, and I'd even say Shaw and Walker go as high as you did today, because I don't think their fullbacks are anywhere near as good now. I think I'd rather have Mela than any of their Emerson or Di Lorenzo, and I'd probably rather have Stieg Larsson as well over them both.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously you've got. I don't know who I'd play up front, really. I kind of want Grealish to play, but he won't. I mean, you can't drop Sterling, really.
No, Sterling's undroppable. We need to talk about how good Sterling was today. It was unbelievable.
Normally, I'm not Raheem Sterling's biggest fan. Mainly,
neither am I.
I properly hate him, and and that was a guy. He's probably a nice guy. As a footballer, though, I'm not his biggest fan. But he's been playing very well, hasn't he? I mean, I would not trust him to score a goal for me though, 1-on-1 if I had to. He'd be up there with
I mean, we saw that miss, didn't we? We saw that miss. Red saying Northern Ireland a lot of it. Northern Ireland cheering on England and always do. Good on you, good lads. But the Republic is a different story. Yeah, the Republic. Not so impressed, obviously, with the whole Grealish and Rice thing. They're maybe not England's biggest fans at the moment. That's probably fair to say. Deck's checking himself out in the camera. He'd love to see it. Right, so back on Raheem Sterling. All of this stuff that people have said, and to be perfectly honest, I've said at the start of the tournament, I was thinking, come on, Gareth. Like, I know Marcus Rashford's been in poor form for United, but Sterling's been in equally poor form for City, realistically. There's no real reason to play Sterling ahead of Rashford, because Rashford's always better for England. But no. Raheem Sterling's turned up, and he's been unbelievable. I mean, in extra time, the way he was just galloping past 5-6 players at a time, I have no idea how he had the energy to keep doing that after what he was doing all game. But it was fantastic. Yes, he should have scored that 1-on-1, but to have the confidence and like the self-belief to not let it affect you, get in the position a minute later, and that's where the own goal came from. So
and win the penalty.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dive for the penalty. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a penalty. I don't care. Anyone that's watching that thinks that's a penalty, I would like you to probably, have a rethink about what sport that you want to follow.
Yeah, definitely not a chance. But I still think the one in Kane was. Red Hand only has one thing it doesn't like about England. We stole Sweet Caroline. That's your song. Come to Belfast and Winter Park. We'll show you how to sing it properly.
Well, technically, it's Neil Diamond's song, but
if
I don't like.
we're being real about it, as Deck always is.
I don't like that song, mate. I'm controversial, guys. Just don't like it. I hate when people go so good, because that's not in the song.
Is it not?
No. Listen to the song. It doesn't go so good, so good, so good. Just people add that in. It's so white. Such a white thing to do.
Never realised. Rain says it's coming home. It's coming home. It is indeed coming home. Of course.
What's your favourite thingy song? Like like 3 lines. It's coming.
3 lines. 3 lines. 100%.
Really?
I was about to go on to actually. World in Motion, I think, is a little bit overrated. Still good.
I agree. I agree.
I think it's overrated.
The best for me is this time, more than any other time. This time, we're gonna find a way to get away. This time, doing it all together. Something has won. We are Gareth's 26. Hear the roar. Anyway, sorry, you've heard enough of that.
Don't mind it. Only reason you're supporting England is because you were born there, though. Whereabouts are you now, then? Born and run away. Neil Diamond doesn't sing it as well as the fans. Yeah, that is fair. There's something special about 60,000 as it was today, or however many thousand in the stadium all singing the same thing. And looking forward to next season at United, I am massively hopeful because before the Stratford end on one side, the wall of noise at times, but the rest of the stadium's been a bit quiet. What we've got now next season, we've got the standing section, the rail seats being brought in the corner of the east stand, opposite corner to the tunnel. Hopefully that improves the atmosphere right the way around the stadium. And if it does, if we get more rail seating in as well, Old Trafford could be a fortress once again. Because I've got to be perfectly honest, at times Old Trafford is a bit quiet. A lot of people, especially rival fans, do comment on it, but it's true.
We've seen it all.
We've won a lot. Yeah, as you guys may know if you follow me on TikTok, there was that one video of me singing that at the Fulham game, and I got about 1,000, 1,500 comments, basically all saying you're the only one singing, pipe down. So you win some, you lose some. The video did get 1.8 million or 1.9 million views, so it's okay. I'll allow all the abuse, but at the same time, you win some, you lose some, don't you? Sometimes chanting doesn't come across the best on recordings because it sounds like it's just you, but it's what it is. Ben's whole family is English, but you were born in Ireland. Are they all in Ireland now, or? United away support shows how good our fan base is. Yes, completely agree. Need to get it loud at Old Trafford again. It's true. It's so true. We do need to get it loud at Old Trafford again. And the reason the away support is so good is because it's because of how difficult it is to get onto away games. You've got to have been you've got to go to every single home game, cup game, everything else for 4 years to even think about applying to domestic aways. And even then, you're on the lowest points criteria. So it's tough. Last game at Old Trafford with full capacity was insane. Yeah, that was the derby. Absolutely unreal. One of the best moments of my life. What is Ben saying? I'm waiting for this. The ... I'm nervous now.
Anyone got any questions? They want to ask the guru that is Deck. Fantastic footballing mind. If you want to pick it, you know what I mean.
A Nightbot. Yeah, I may not still have a Nightbot. I still have not done that. Right.
What is that? What does that mean?
It's a thing on, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys can help me out with this. If I'm not very much mistaken, a Nightbot, basically it comes up with when people follow you, comes up with all that sort of stuff. I think loads of stuff like that. So it comes up with handy alerts and stuff of when stuff happens or whatever, which is useful.
I've seen it all.
I've won the lot. We're never gonna stop. Right, Italy, England. Oh yes, that's actually a really good one to discuss. Here you go, Dak.
What?
This. That was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Has to be said. I know what they're playing out there.
Well, we did penalties. So.
Yeah, true. Honestly, my respect for whoever did that later has gone right down. There's no need for that. Horrible.
Jack, it's gone right down.
It has indeed. Nightbot is a chatbot for Twitch, YouTube, and Trovo that allows you to automate your live streams chat with moderation and new features, allowing you to spend more time entertaining your viewers. I
am entertaining.
Yeah, to be fair, I deal with the chat. Dak entertains the viewers. It's a pretty good balance for everyone, I think.
It's a good system, this.
Yeah, great. Right, I'm gonna get up. Where is it? I'm trying to find the stats from England, Denmark, and see if I can do a little screen share. But certain players were incredible. Right, hang on. So if I do that, share screen there.
No.
Let's not maximize it. Let's put it up there for now. But what we've got on this screen is obviously the live score ratings and stuff. Calvin Phillips in particular, heat map for a start. With all the stuff we were talking about, Dak, if you look here at his heat map, you can see for starters. Look up here. Look how high up the pitch. Look how much activity he's got in the opposition half, just in that right space. He was clearly being told. I think, was it Delaney playing there for Denmark? Yeah, it was indeed. He was clearly being told to get close to Delaney at all times. That was clearly his instruction. But as you say, that was leaving gaps in behind for the Danes front three, especially Damsgaard and Braithwaite at times, and for Højbjerg to get in there as well.
I think Phillips is probably the better of the two out of him and Rice for sure. What did Rice get on this? Because I can't really see.
What, the rating?
Yeah.
Right, the rating Declan Rice got is a 6.5. Phillips got a 7.1. I think. Also, yeah, I mean, literally, we were talking about. You were saying about how Phillips kept pushing up so high and Rice was sitting so deep. That is beautifully summed up for you guys right there in the heat maps, isn't it?
And that's why basically I'm wasted as a guy just sitting in his room talking to a guy called Cam on the internet about football. I should be a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you called it that even looking at the heat maps, but it's true. And Redhand saying the small minority of fans who booed the national anthem of Denmark also lost your respect. Not the time to boo. Fair enough. Would never get that in rugby, in fairness. England fans can be real cunts at times, not gonna lie. Yeah, I suppose so, but so can every fan base, I think. Football fans in general can be, yeah, always a minority, exactly. On TikTok, the comments are saying Rice is better, to be honest, but Phillips has been so much better at the Euros. In your opinion, Rice has just done a job. What I will show you guys on TikTok here, though, is Deck was just saying a minute ago. If we look at, we were talking about how Phillips was pushing up so high for a lot of the game because his role was to get close to Thomas Delaney. If you look at Calvin Phillips' heat map there on the right-hand side, let me put that the correct way up for you guys. Calvin Phillips' heat map is the one on the right there. Look how high, look how much more detailed that is in these areas here. He's so much higher up the pitch in comparison to Declan Rice, who's a hell of a lot deeper and further left. So you can clearly see his instructions there, Calvin Phillips, were to get close to Thomas Delaney, go and press him all the time to stop them building out from the back. And the idea behind that was stop them building, win the ball high up the pitch, and that's what we thought was our best way to press Denmark and actually end up scoring a goal. Because we think when they're sitting back in that 3-4-3, they're hard to break down. And to be fair, it worked. I think they won the ball back. They recovered it a lot of the time. And I would say did a pretty good job. Red Hand says, you have got to hop off so you don't die in work tomorrow. Last day, though, 2 weeks off. Look forward to it, mate. Look forward to enjoy 2 weeks off. Hope the last day goes well and see you again very soon. Thanks for joining the stream as well. Okay, so back on the heat maps. Is there anyone else you want to check out at this moment, Dak?
I thought Mason Mount was very good as well, actually.
Did you? I'm Mason Mount. I'm not sure. I personally think defensively, especially, he didn't contribute all that much. I think with what you're saying, yeah.
I don't think that's just when you're playing two CDMs. If you're relying on an attacking midfield back and defend. I know everyone's got a job, but if you're relying on that and saying, well, I just think the other two have got found out. You've got two defenders, Stones and Maguire, who are meant to be really good. Then you've got two defensive midfielders that are meant to be decent enough / really good. And then if you're asking Mason Mount to be the one that also contributes defensively, like I say, I know everyone's got a job, but I just think that's a little bit too far.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. So I think in the way England were playing, I think obviously Phillips going up high was part of the plan for pressing. He was supporting them, so it becomes a front five basically when you're pressing, which is fine. I think the idea was that the front three sort of pressed Denmark's back three centre backs, and then the two covered Delaney and Højbjerg in midfield to make it really difficult. So that's Mount and it's Phillips. But at the same time, I think every time the ball went down Phillips' side, to the right-hand side via Delaney or Denmark's left, I think Mount had to drop in, and he just didn't. And that's why, as you were saying, there was that massive gap in midfield between Rice dropping deep and Phillips pushing up. I think Mount had to be the one to fill that space at times. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I suppose I do know what you're saying. I would say is if it was me, especially if I was the manager, I would say to mainly the front three, obviously, especially I'd obviously want them to track back team shape, Rick the Red, la 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 la. Yeah. But I would say that's almost like the reason why we're playing with a back seven, basically back six, is because I want the 3/4 to play with fluidity. I would want it'd be okay for Mount to come over to the left hand side with Sterling to create an overload, or Sterling to go to the right hand side with Mount to create an overload, or Grealish. You know what I mean? So I do really like Mason Mount, and I thought he had some really nice touches. I thought his passing was nice. And don't forget, he has missed a game technically with COVID, so he's a game behind everyone.
Mason Mount. Oh,
yeah,
of course. Yeah, missed the Scotland game, didn't he? Or the game after Scotland, Czech Republic. But yeah, to us, one of the comments on TikTok saying he thought it wasn't the best performance by Mason Mount. Still hasn't shown us how good he is. And I actually do agree. I think, look, during the Euros, that is, I think, as you can see from his heat map, he was far less involved in the game than Rice and Phillips. Although, to be fair, with heat maps, that's to be expected, because obviously they're going to go for more defensive actions, which is going to show up on the heat maps, obviously. But I'm not sure Mason Mount is all that for England, at least, or in this Euros he has been, because I can't really think what he brings to the team that Jack Grealish couldn't do. Obviously, he's a fantastic presser. He's got very good tactical awareness. But Jack Grealish works hard out of possession. He's pretty good as well.
There's no doubt in my mind saying that Jack Grealish is better than him. He just is. Jack Grealish is better than any of our front three, probably. Well, apart from, say, Foden. He is. I think he's playing better than Foden at the minute. He might not be better than him, but he's in better form than Foden. And he obviously isn't a pair Kane to him. But he is better than Mount. He's better than Rashford. He's better than Sterling. If it was up to me, I would always play Jack Grealish. But I think Mount obviously is some absolute consistency. He gives you 7 out of 10 in every single game.
That is true, yeah.
And he also does well at linking defence to attack. Like, he is that fluid. And I mean, like you say, Grealish could do that. But then again, if I was managing England, Axel Tuanzebe would be starting at centre back. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Looking at the other heat maps for the attackers, it's not the best reading in the world, is it? That to be honest, obviously Saka didn't really get the chance to come off his flank much. But again, I feel like part of that is because he wasn't offered that much support inside when Mason Mount wasn't really able to find any pockets of space. So it's not like Saka could play 1-2s to get further infield. And again, looking at Sterling stuff, the vast majority of his good work has come, or his work at least, has come down the right hand side. And he only played there after Saka went off, really. So, I think obviously the whole team played well, but I don't think it was really outstanding from Mason Mount or Bukayo Saka in particular. Sterling, to be fair to him, as we've said, was fantastic. The heat map may not do it as much justice as it deserves, especially his work infield in the more central areas. But the number of times Sterling's beat a man or beat 2 or 3 players, come inside, and then shift the ball on. A couple of times he lost it, but happens to everyone. Austin on TikTok thinks it was Kane's best performance tonight, and I've got to be honest, I have to agree with you there. Go on, Deck.
by a mile. It was his best performance. He was allowed to pick up the ball in the pocket. He was allowed to create chances. He was allowed to have a few shots. He was allowed to just cause havoc, really, especially against the back three. That's what you really want from a number 9 that's going to almost play like a false 9, which is what he was. He was going so deep. He was playing where basically he was in the area of the pitch where Mason Mount is on that graph that you've got there, Cam. He was going so deep. He was just allowing Sterling to run behind him. He was allowing Saka at times to run behind him. He was allowing Sterling to run behind him. And when Calvin Phillips got further up the pitch and Shaw got further up the pitch, that's where we started to cause a little bit of trouble.
As you said, that's the great thing about the heat maps here is if we look at Harry Kane, this area here where he's most effective, as you can tell. Actually, I'll pull up Sterling's heat map right now. Sterling's patch here, his red patch, is higher up the pitch. It's closer to the sort of that edge of the box than Harry Kane's patch there. And what that tells you straight away is that Harry Kane dropping off a little bit deeper has given Sterling and Saka or whoever else the license to get a little bit higher up the pitch. And Kane's link up tonight, as Deck said, was fantastic. One of the best performances he's had all Euros, to be honest, and possibly even all season. Maybe his best ever for England, even.
I wouldn't say that's against the realms of possibility. What rating did he get?
He only got a 7.5 on SofaScore, but to be fair, I think he was a mile better than that. A lot of the times, these ratings are based purely on the stats rather than necessarily how important each individual contribution was to the team. And so in a lot of important moments, he was huge. Sorry, what you say?
Who's rated?
Well, who's the best?
Yeah, who got the best rating?
Harry Maguire with a 7.8, which, to be fair, can't argue with. He was phenomenal as well. Absolutely phenomenal. Him and Luke Shaw for England have been absolute rocks. Two of our best players. Those two are insane. The United boys are carrying England well and truly, and it's been fantastic to see this Euros.
Schmeichel get?
To be fair, yeah, on the pitch, Schmeichel got an 8.6, highest on the pitch. I mean, although from a goalkeeper with a penalty save, you're going to look any rating is going to be like through the roof.
But yeah, I was happy with that performance in the end.
Yeah,
against Denmark, we didn't really look in trouble ever, really.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it was definitely a game worth watching.
Right, moving on then. Predictions for Italy. Score predictions. We'll see what we're thinking. Let me just maximise the screen so it's back to us again, and then there we go.
Why didn't you?
I'll stop the share. There we go.
Italy. I don't know. It's hard. I'm going to say England win the final.
Someone on TikTok saying, "Will I start Henderson in the final over Rice or Phillips?" I tell you what, I personally wouldn't, but there is a man on stream on Twitch right now next to me who would. 100%.
There absolutely is. I know they can't hear me because I'm not on TikTok, but
no, they should be able to come out. Audio coming out of the speakers, hopefully.
Well, I'd start Henderson, Rice, and Phillips. I'd go that defensive. I really
would. Really? So you play what? You play four. So back four: Henderson, Rice, and Phillips.
Yeah.
Drop Mason Mount and play the normal front three.
I don't know. I don't really know. I need to look at that Spain game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to watch. I do want to watch the Spain game again to work out where there's sort of dangerous pockets of space, but also previous Italy games as well. I think because I think against Spain, Italy really, really struggled to do a lot of the things they're good at, especially obviously with Spinazzola out. Ben is saying Spain's midfield would overrun England. He also says 2-1 England, but if we played Spain, it would be 2-0 Spain. No, I think England would. Spain are brilliant technically, but their centre backs aren't good enough. In transition, they're shocking. We'd have Spain on toast.
We beat them 5-2, 5-3.
Spain, yeah, agreed.
I think we score 5 easy past them. I think the worst potentially than Ukraine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so score prediction. What's your score prediction again for Italy?
I'm going to go 1-1 England on penalties.
Tell you what, that'd be a great way to win it. A great way to win it. If I was offered that now, I'd obviously take it.
I'm going to say Chiro to bite the hand of me because I'm a big fan of Chiro Immobile. I'm going to say 70th minute Chiro, 88th minute. That man, Dominic Calvert-Lewin off the Belmondo, imagine. No,
he's not going on the pitch, is he?
No, never. Why? That man, Jack Grealish with an 88th minute equaliser.
Honestly, the whole place would go mental if Grealish gets a late equaliser. Tell you what, Jose Mourinho and Ben Chilwell, he's been saying all this stuff about, oh yeah, Chilwell's got to play for sure. Has Chilwell even made a single match day squad yet this tournament?
I don't know.
I honestly don't think he has. Maybe the very first one, actually, instead of Luke Shaw.
The best in the world.
He is. Luke Shaw is the best left back in the world.
Anyone in the comments want to tell me a better left back then?
Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. In the comments on TikTok, we're saying, hello, are you okay? I am very good. Middle three, attacking mid, right wing, left wing. For you, Sterling, Grealish, Sancho. Yeah, I go with that for the final. Actually, hang on. Left back, Italy got Emerson. Yeah. I think that works.
I'd start Sancho, mate. I would.
Yeah, I think... I mean, I suppose Saka is fantastic, but I think Emerson's maybe got the measure of Saka. I think Jadon Sancho, he'll cut in and he'll cause problems for Jorginho and Locatelli or Verratti defensively. And that is an area they can exploit because those guys are brilliant on the ball, but defensively they're not quite up to it. We've got Locatelli's agent.
It's Locatelli. It's Locker. WP's Locatelli's agent.
He's back. Right. WP as Locatelli's agent. Okay. Whether it's Locatelli, whether it's Jorginho, whether it's Verratti, we're saying right now, our front three or three behind Harry Kane for the final. It's got to be Jadon Sancho. It'll probably be Mason Mount and then Raheem Sterling. Maybe Jack Grealish had a Mason Mount, but I think Sancho on that right side is important because I think Emerson would have the beating of Saka if he tries to sort of go outside him or inside him. But I think Sancho can get the ball into the midfield and he can beat players. I think he can beat Jorginho. I think he can beat Verratti and probably as well beat Locatelli. I think those guys, although they're fantastic on the ball, I think Sancho will just do them defensively fairly easily. What are you saying on that?
To be honest with you, Cam, if I'm going to be brutally honest with you, Emerson and Sancho, I think you're talking 6-0 against them. I just think, to be honest with you, Cam, I weren't listening. Sorry.
No, it's fair. Now, Emerson's not the best, is he? He's a massive downgrade on Spinazzola, and Italy are going to struggle. Every single part of how they set up their team was so reliant on that width from Spinazzola, and it's now gone.
I think Spinazzola was good. Now it's going to make Aaron Wan-Bissaka seem, great. But I know he did get an assist, but he wasn't that good against us when we played them in the Europa League, was he?
No, that's true. WP, Sancho isn't starting. Southgate will choose Saka because he's a nice lad and trains hard. Plus, he's better defensively. Yes, I mean, look, defensively, that is a massive thing. If obviously you've got Spinazzola playing.
Emerson doesn't need. I think I could defend Emerson, to be honest.
Yeah. Emerson, he gets forward, but he's a body. He's not that much more than that. But you're saying, despite the obvious skill gap. To be honest, I think Saka's been very effective. His pace has been fantastic. But yeah, I prefer to see Sancho. Someone on...
Start Jadon Sanchez, to be honest.
Yeah. Someone on TikTok saying, what happened with United stand? Not really. Not a lot, really. I was on a few shows and stuff then. At one point, they just didn't speak to me again. So I was like, okay, great. Well, that's that one, I guess. Yeah. Sancho wouldn't need to track back for United because of Wan-Bissaka behind. No, that's nonsense. No, I can't have that. Like, there's so many people saying that, but whether you're looking brick with red, whoever you're looking at, that's nonsense. Like, you defend as a team. You don't just send one player by himself. Spinazzola was one of their best players in Europa League. When he got injured, the game shifted and went 6-2. Oh, fair enough, yeah. Explain why Saka didn't get man of the match. Because there were many better players than him on the pitch. Sterling, Phillips was better. Kane was unbelievable. Maguire was so much better. Luke Shaw, Kasper Schmeichel as well.
It's coming up. It's coming up. It's coming. Football's coming home.
Football is coming home. And on that note, to be fair, with our score predictions made, for me, I'm going. The thing is, I think England will actually. I think we'll do better than we did today. I think Italy will push forward more. That'll leave bigger gaps for us to exploit. I think in transition we'll hopefully have more opportunities. So I'm going to go with 2-1 England, but I don't think it'll take extra time. I think 2-1 England in 90 minutes. That may be very optimistic, but that's my score predictions. And on that note, unless you've got anything else to say, Dak, I'm going to I think we end the stream.
No, I've got nothing else to say other than let's enjoy it on Sunday. Remember who you win.
One more thing from WP. Do you see Southgate going to a back three? Dak was saying earlier he reckons we should go to back three because it blocks the spaces Italy look to exploit. Obviously, it blocks the half spaces which Insigne and Barella will be looking to exploit. And then you've got the central centre back taking out Immobile, so that's fine. Then you've got the our wing backs then dealing with their sort of full back / wingers, whoever's providing the width on the respective sides. So it could work potentially, but I think a back four is a fair way of doing things, to be honest. Especially with the Rice and Phillips offering that solidity in front. I think he's going to stick with the back four.
Yeah.
Right, well, on that note, thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you again very soon.